Wolves have officially parted ways with Bruno Lage after a horrific start to this season. Wolves are currently sitting 18th in the Premier League and are in desperate need of a rebuild. Now here is Wolves starting 11, and to be fair, on paper, it's actually really good. It's actually really difficult to see where they're going wrong in real life. And they've had a pretty decent transfer window as well. They brought in Guedes, they brought in Nunes, they brought in Diego freaking Costa as well. For that reason, in season 1 of this rebuild, I'm making no transfers whatsoever. And of course, we are having season objectives once again in this rebuild, and season 1's objective is to ensure that Raul Jimenez gets at least 20 goal contributions in season 1. Failing to do so, we will have to release one of the starting 11 players at random. And this is how I've got the team lining up for season 1 of this rebuild. I've put Neto as a right wing, I've put Guedes as a left winger. No doubt in my mind that sometime down the line Jimenez will leave the club or retire, and that's when I'll probably convert him back to a striker. It's very clear to me that Wolves' biggest weakness right now is its squad depth, because aside from the starting 11, they've got pretty decent attacking options, but when it comes to the defence and midfield, there is absolutely nothing going for it. So in season 2, mark my words, that'll be one of the first things I try to fix. But remember, our season objective for season 1 is to get Raul Jimenez minimum 20 goal contributions this season. And in hindsight, with this team, he should pretty comfortably achieve that. We have arrived at the midway point this season, and surprisingly enough, we've gone from being 18th place in real life to 7th place in the Premier League at the halfway point this season. And surprisingly enough, in 8th place are a team that is equally doing the shit in real life, Nottingham Forest. But considering we've had no input into this team of our own, we've brought in no players that we wanted to bring in, this is a very positive start. And just to give you guys a little update on how the team is looking going into the second half of this season, it's clear that our front three is very good. Neto, Jimenez and Guedes, all pretty high rated and all doing pretty well by the looks of things. Nunes and Neves are growing very nicely. However, João Moutinho, he's 36 years old now, he's 78 rated. It's very clear to see where we need to buy for next season. The back four is clearly the weakest part of the side. However, it does have quite a bit of potential, with Collins being only 21 years old. Kilman, he's only 25 years old. Aït-Nouri, he's only 21 years old as well. The only old one in the back four, Semedo. So far, Raul Jimenez has got 16 goal contributions, and we are aiming for a minimum of 20. Hopefully, he doesn't flop in the second half of this season. Well, we've arrived at the end of this season, bearing in mind, in real life, Wolves are sitting 18th place in the Premier League. In our first season in charge of Wolverhampton Wanderers, we have finished inside the top 6. We finished 6th place. We were nowhere near Chelsea with 5th place. I think we were 9 points clear of us, but it doesn't matter. Top 6 in our first season with Wolves is tremendous. United finished top of the table with Liverpool very close behind them. Then it was City. I don't know why Spurs are 4th, that's just unrealistic. Then it was Palace, Everton and Southampton who unfortunately got relegated. Newcastle United ended up winning the FA Cup. Nope. Lazio won the Conference League, Roma went on to win the Europa League, and PSG went on to win the Champions League. And it's the moment of truth, boys. Has Raul Jimenez got 20 goal contributions minimum this season? What's he got? He's got 24 goal contributions in 39 games this season. That's not bad at all, you know, which does mean that we don't have to release any player in our squad at random at the beginning of next season. Aside from Jimenez, goals and assists wise, the only player who stood out was Gonçalo Guedes, who went up to 85 rated as well. 26 goals, 5 assists, 31 goal contributions in 41 games. We got top 6 football, which is absolutely tremendous. In season 2, we can actually spend the money that we've been allocated by our board. Now, I've got a couple of options what I could do with the midfield. Now, obviously, Moutinho did retire at the end of last season. He was 36 years old. He was decreasing like mad. It was time to see him off. But like I've just said, that leaves me with a couple of options what I could do with this midfield. I could have a 4-3-3 holding variation where I could bring in a CDM into the starting 11. I could go for a 4-3-3 attacking variation where I could bring in a central attacking midfielder into the starting 11. I'm expecting a lot better things from Neto, however. 83 rated, 23 years old. I don't care how much potential this guy's got. If he doesn't start bagging some goals, he's useless to us. And considering the back four was our biggest weakness last season, they've all pretty much grown quite significantly. Collins 79 rated, Kilman 80, Aït-Nouri 80, Semedo even went up 1. In this season, we've been given 107 million to spend, which means we can improve this team and then some. I wanted to introduce a little bit of experience into that midfield, so I opted for Emre Can for £20 million. Wolves. And the one thing our centre-backs were currently lacking was a little bit of speed, so I brought in Josko Vardiol for 62.7 million. Leaving the team looking like this going into Season 2 of this rebuild. Looking at this team right now, there's hardly any weaknesses, there's a lot of growth and potential there. Realistically speaking, there's no reason why we can't get a top 4 finish. Which reminds me, our objective for Season 2 is to get Guedes 35 goal contributions for this season. If we fail, we have to randomly release a player from the starting 11. And we aren't quite done there. We are officially in Europe. We are qualified for the Conference League. We're in Group B, joined by Dynamo Zagreb, Malmo, and FC Luzern. And quite frankly speaking, we're going to have to see what happens, but I'd bet my money on us wiping the floor with this group. Was this ever really in any doubt? There's no disrespect intended to the other 3 teams in this group, but have you seen our team? Just wait until you see the top 6 here. Okay, so we're going to start with West Ham United being top of the league. We're currently second place, which is absolutely phenomenal. Then you got the bottle jobs. You got United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea are just outside the top 6. Then you got Villa who are 8th, Leeds 9th, Newcastle United 10th, and then for some reason, currently right now, Arsenal are one of the best teams in the Premier League, so I can't even shit on them. Why they're 11th, I'll never know. But all jokes aside, this is a phenomenal start to Season 2 for us. And this is a little update on how the team looks going into the second half of this season. As you can see, Vardiol, our big signing for that September transfer window, was absolutely the right decision. 85 rated. It's a shame that Kilman can't take a little bit of advice from Vardiol and improve a bit more himself. And as you can see, Jimenez has been dropped to the subs bench, and we're going to give this guy a chance. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name because I will butcher it and you guys will take the piss. But this team is slowly starting to look like a very deadly team, and when we get into the Champions League, we could actually potentially go quite far in it the first time entering the competition. And it is looking fairly decent so far for Guedes. He's got 23 goal contributions. He only needs 12 more, and he's successfully completed the objective. So with any luck, we can go 2 for 2 with completing the objectives. Boys, I called it. We have officially climbed in to that top 4 in Season 2. We are joined with Manchester City top of the table, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, West Ham, Spurs, Arsenal, where they freaking belong. But all jokes aside, last season we were just about top 6. This time, we're very comfortably inside the top 6, and we are in the top 4. Progression at its finest. And this time it was Norwich, Fulham, and Burnley who were relegated. Chelsea won the FA Cup. They also went on to win the Carabao Cup. I ain't gonna lie, boys, this is a little bit gut-wrenching. We got to the final of the Conference League and we just lost out 5-4 on penalties to Stade Rennais. I mean, it's in a bad going, but if we're losing to teams like Stade Rennais, we ain't got a chance in the Champions League. Lazio went on to win the Europa League, Roma won the Super Cup, and PSG were the champions of Europe. Now it's the important one. Did Guedes complete the objective in getting 35 goal contributions minimum at the end of this season? Let's have a look. Oh my god, only by 2 goals, but freaking hell, we did it. 37 goal contributions this season in 55 games. Guedes, he's made it 2 for 2, guys. We have got 2 season objectives, and we've done both of them. Pedro Neto did a bit better this time, getting himself 15 goals and 7 assists from 45 games. My mate Sasa, he got himself 13 goals, 2 assists. Raul Jimenez, 10 goals, 3 assists. He's definitely on his way out of the club now, but we're not going to sell him purely because of the fact he's definitely a good super sub. Emre Can, whilst he didn't actually go up any, he got himself over 10 goal contributions from the centre midfielder position this season, which in hindsight isn't bad at all. So did Nunes, to be fair. Holy shit! Neves got himself over 20 goal contributions from the centre midfielder position this season. That's nuts! So we once again complete the season objective. We got to the final of the Conference League, unfortunately losing out to Stade Rennais 5-4 on penalties. We get a top 4 finish. We're looking very strong going into next season. We just need a couple more signings, and I reckon we're challenging for the Champions League. Now, as you can see, taking a look at Wolves' team, there's a couple of positions that do need improving. The striker, for one, obviously you've got Guedes and Neto 86 and 84 rated, and then you've got Sasa who's 81 rated. If we had a bit of a better striker, we might be a little bit more deadly up top. The midfield trio can stay exactly how it is. I'm very happy with how they're looking. I'm going to keep both full-backs, however I am opting for a better centre-back because Collins, he's 81 rated, 23 years old. He is not on Vardiol's level, and we definitely need a good defence going into our next European competition. And boys, with 175 million, we can certainly make that happen. I started the transfer window up by bringing in a little bit more squad depth to that midfielder role, so I brought in Sambi Lokonga for 26.7 million. On top of that, I really wanted a striker who was quick off the mark and deadly in front of goal, which is why I brought in Argentinian striker Julian Alvarez for just over 63 million. And I wanted to bring in a better centre-back for Vardio, which is why I opted for German 6'3" centre-back Nico Schlotterbeck for 72.3 million. Which does leave the team looking like this going into season 3 of this rebuilding. As you can see, the front three now looks far better with Julian Alvarez in that striker position. The midfield trio of Neves, Emre Can and Nunez looks very goddamn tasty. Aitnari, Vardio, Schlotterbeck, Semedo look very good. Saar and goal looks good as well. And when you take a look at the subs bench as well, the squad depth that we've got is actually pretty impressive. And to be honest, it's a good job it is as well, because we are officially in the Champions League in season 3. We are in Group F, joined by Juve, Celtic and Young Boys, and my money's on Juve topping the group with us finishing second right behind them. And our objective for this season is for Julian Alvarez to get 30 goal contributions this season. Failing to do so, we have to release our best player. Well boys, I called it. Juve topped the group with 14 points. We finished second with 11 points going into the round of 16 in our first attempt in this competition. Celtic go into the Europa League with 4 points and Young Boys crash out entirely, but we are into the round of 16 like I've just said, and we are coming up against Frankfurt. That's actually, when you consider who we could have come up against, that's a really nice fixture. However, in the Premier League, we ain't doing too good at all. We're 8th in the league at the midway point this season. Maybe in the second half of the season we could pick up a form a little bit, but it looks like we're playing far better in Europe than we are in the league. And this is a little update on how the team looks going into the second half of this season. Hopefully we can find a form a little bit more in the Premier League. However, we are into the round of 16 of the Champions League, and that's where our primary focus is this season. And Julian Alvarez is well on his way to meeting that objective. He's already got 22 goal contributions this season. He only needs 8 more in an entire half of the season to achieve that objective, to make it 3-3. But the team's looking very goddamn strong going into the round of 16, I have to admit. And with the round of 16 opponent being Frankfurt, I've got high hopes that we can get to the quarters. I have to admit, Frankfurt's team is a little bit better than I anticipated. They got Tuta, they got Kevin Trapp, they got Goetze playing for him as well. They've got Ojeda, they got Rakit, they've got a half-decent team, but I'd argue overall our team is far better. So let's see if Wolves can put... There you go. Julian Alvarez coming in clutch when we need him. Come on, boys. With us being 3-1 up going into the second leg, we should, realistically speaking, be pretty sound. And hopefully we are into the... Oh, my God, we didn't make it easy for ourselves, did we? And Mecca gained the goal for Frankfurt, but unfortunately for them, we did enough in the first leg. It was 3-2 overall on aggregate, and we are somehow in the freaking quarters. We have certainly got a test on our hands now, because we are facing off against Barcelona. They have got a pretty decent team. Actually, you know what? For Barcelona's standards, I'd actually argue that's not the best team that they could probably field. Don't get me wrong, it's a good team, but for Barcelona's standards, it's not that good. But we do have one of our midfielders out, Nunez. He's on suspension. Fortunately, though, we do have Lokonga to fill in his spot, so we are going to get on with this game and see what we can do against Barcelona. We take a 2-1 advantage with Schlotterbeck getting both freaking goals. Go on then, lad. Well, we're in a pretty good position now, 2-1 up against Barcelona. We are away at Barcelona Stadium, don't get me wrong, but it's still a pretty decent spot to be in. So let's get on with it and see if we can book our place in the semis. And we've done it. We've beaten them 3-2 overall, 1-1 on the night. Emre Can, man, what a boy, what a freaking legend. And he puts Wolves through to the semi-finals. And in the semis, we're facing off against the English giants, Manchester City. Now, quite frankly speaking, that team is absolutely scum, but there's one player on that team I am genuinely concerned about. Erling freaking Haaland. If you've been watching him in real life, you'll know that that guy is easily the best striker in the world. No, I won't take opinions. No, I will not be arguing about it. It's not an argument, it's a fact. And the guy who I'd actually choose to mark Haaland out of the game, or try to at least, is out on suspension. So it looks like it's Nathan Collins' job to mark Haaland out of the game, which I can't see happening all that well. So without further ado, let's get into the game and see. Oh my God, boys. What is happening here? I honestly can't decide which is more surprising, the fact that we're 1-0 up against City, or the fact that we played against Haaland and he didn't score. But boys, it all comes down to this. If we win or draw, we're through to the Champions League final. If we lose, let's be honest, if we lose, it's not going to be by a small margin. Man City will tear us apart. So let's see what happens, boys. Come on. Come on. Oh my God, we're into the Champions League. We've beaten them twice. How the hell have we managed this? Julian Alvarez, their former player, coming in clutch with Guedes and Neto coming in clutch as well. And boys, we've beaten the English Giants, so we're through to the Champions League final. And in the final of the Champions League, we face off against Real Madrid. Now, let me tell you something. I'm confident in our Wolves team, but I haven't seen Madrid's team yet, and I can already imagine how scummy it is. But before we get into that, let's see not only if we picked up our form in the Premier League, but if Alvarez is hit that target. Well, it's official. We were shit in the Premier League this season. We didn't even get in the top 6. We finished above Arsenal, which is kind of cool, but we didn't even get in the top 6. Spurs even got in the top. Newcastle United got in the top 6 and we didn't. Liverpool went on to win the league. Then it was Chelsea, City, United, the bottle job, Newcastle United ourselves, and then it was Arsenal. In the bottom 3 this season, it was Sheffield United, West Brom, and then Brentford. Liverpool won the FA Cup. Dortmund went on to win the Conference League, with Olympic Lyon winning the Europa League, and PSG won the Super Cup. It's the moment of truth, boys. Did Alvarez hit the objective for this season to get 30 goals? Ooh, 19 plus 14, that's 33. Yeah. 19 goals, 14 assists equals 33 goal contributions. He more than smashed that goal. He has made it 3 and 3 for us this season, and we have been smashing these objectives lately. I think next time I'm going to have to make them a little bit more difficult, but nevertheless, Guedes once again being our top goal scorer for the 3rd season running. 26 goals, 4 assists. The man's just a machine. Then you've got Pedro Neto, 22 goals, 5 assists as well. He's picked up his form a bit. Emre Can, 9 goal contributions this season. Neves, 13 goal contributions. And then everybody else is pretty box standard, really. And God, Neves, what? No, there's no way Neves is missing the Champions League final. You stupid son of a bitch. Ruben Neves, you're in the Champions League final, and for whatever reason you decide to get yourself suspended. You absolute moron of a player, but it is what it is. Real Madrid's team, Jesus Christ, just take a look at that for a squad. I mean, I'd actually argue that right side of the pitch is pretty weak. You've got Tevez, Mati Cash, and then Rafa. Then the left side, you've got Ferland Mendy, you've got Tuchemeni, you've got Milinkovic-Savic, Osimhen, Vinicius Jr., Van Dijk, Courtois. Yeah, the right side of the pitch is getting violated in this game, mark my words. Wolverhampton Wanderers at the beginning of this rebuild had no manager because they sacked him. We took charge from 18th place. We finished 6th place in the 1st season in charge. We're making no signings at all. The 2nd season, we go into the Champions League. And right here, right now, we're in the Champions League final. I'm pretty sure I am the man for the job for Wolves. But the time for talking is officially over. The question is, can Wolverhampton Wanderers silence the Spanish Giants and collect their Champions League trophy this season? And we couldn't have had a better start. Oh, what a goal from Julian Alvarez! Near post overpowered. And 20 minutes later, we doubled the lead. Oh my God! How the hell have we made it 2-0 from that position? But Julian Alvarez just makes it happen. He's a little messy in this game, he is. However, just before half-time, Real Madrid reminded us why they were the GOAT of this competition. Fuck me. Really? On the stroke of half-time, we couldn't hold on a minute longer. It was evident that in the second half, we took control of this game. The one thing that we couldn't do, however, was score past Courtois. And Madrid made us pay for it. Oh my God, no. No. I can't fucking believe it. I can't have... Oh my God, this game is so infuriating. How many shots have I had? They get one chance in the entire half. Nah, I'm not having it. And just when I thought this was going to extra time, this happened. Please. Yes! Oh my God, I don't know how we've done that. I don't have a clue how we've done that. But against all odds... Oh my God, we've finally beaten Courtois to make it actually official. We have done it. We have won the Champions League. Surely to God now. Boys, my heart is in my mouth. We need to hold on for like 2 minutes, if that. And there it is. We've done it. We've freaking done it. We've beaten Real Madrid. We have won the Champions League with Wolves in 3 seasons of taking charge. From 18th in the Premier League right now to the Champions of Europe in 3 seasons. Wolves, hit me up. You know where I am. That is the end of today's video. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. Smash the hell out of that subscribe button. Turn the notification bell on so you never miss a video outload. We are on the road to 6,000 subscribers and we are so goddamn close to achieving that goal. The like goal for today's video as well is 250. If we could hit that, that would be incredible. That is all from me. It has been your boy Gordon. Hope you guys have an amazing afternoon, and until next time, I'll see you later.